Level 1. The day they take everything. You are 64 years old. It is March 12th, 1171. You are a merchant of Venice, and you are standing in a warehouse in Constantinople, the richest city on earth. Your family has traded here for generations. Silk, silver, grain. Then the soldiers come, not for you alone, for everyone. On a single day, by a single order of the Emperor Manuel Komnenos, every Venetian in the Byzantine Empire is arrested. Thousands of people, every ship seized, every warehouse emptied, every coin taken. A lifetime of your family's wealth vanishes between sunrise and sunset. You will spend the rest of your life answering that one day. You just don't know it yet. And here is the strange part, the part nobody can explain. The most important thing you will ever do begins 30 years later, when you are an old man and blind. Level 2. The darkness. Venice sends a war fleet to punish the emperor. 120 ships. It never fights. Plague tears through the crews on the island of Chios. The fleet crawls home, defeated by something it couldn't see. The Doge who led it is murdered in the street by a furious mob in 1172. And you, Enrico Dandolo, are sent instead as an ambassador into the palace of the man who ruined your city. What happens inside is a mystery historians still argue about. The legend says the Byzantines blinded you there, held your eyes to a burning mirror. The truth is probably crueler and quieter, a blow to the head, and then a slow dimming, year after year. The light doesn't go out like a candle. It leaks away, faces blur, then shapes, then daylight itself. By the time you are old, you can walk straight, gesture, turn toward a voice so precisely that strangers don't believe it. But you see nothing, nothing at all. In your world, blindness means the end of a man. For you, it is the beginning. Level 3. The election. You are 85 years old. It is the year 1192. The great families of Venice gather to choose a new Doge, the ruler of the Republic. They choose you, a blind man closer to 90 than to 80. Why? Because your mind is a ledger that never forgets. Because you have spent decades in trade, in diplomacy, in the corridors where the real decisions are made. And maybe because they think an old blind man will be easy to control, a caretaker, a ghost on the throne. They are wrong in a way that will reshape the map of the world. You cannot read a contract anymore, so you hold entire treaties in your memory, clause by clause. You cannot see a man's face, so you listen, to breathing, to hesitation, to the half-second pause before a lie. The court thinks your blindness is a weakness. You have already turned it into a weapon. Level 4. The deal of the century. You are 93. In the year 1201, 6 knights arrive from France. They kneel in the palace of a man who cannot see them kneel. They represent the lords of the Fourth Crusade, and they need what only Venice can build, a fleet. You name the terms and they are staggering. Venice will build ships for 33,500 men and 4,500 horses. The price, 85,000 marks of silver, roughly twice the yearly income of the King of France. And you add something no one asked for, 50 armed war galleys from Venice itself, on one condition: half of everything conquered belongs to the Republic. To build this fleet, you shut down the entire city. Commerce stops. Every carpenter, every rope maker, every sail cutter works for the contract. Venice becomes a single machine with one purpose. You stake the whole Republic on a piece of parchment you will never be able to read. Level 5. The trap. You are 95. The fleet is ready. Nearly 500 ships, the greatest armada Christian Europe has ever assembled. And then the Crusaders arrive. 12,000 of them. Not 33,000. 12. The rest never came, and the men camped on the sand of the Lido cannot pay. They empty their purses, melt their plate, hand over their silver spoons, and they are still 34,000 marks short. Venice has spent everything. If you simply forgive the debt, the Republic is ruined and you are finished. If you send them home, same ending. Any normal ruler is now trapped. You are not a normal ruler. You stand up in the church of San Marco in front of 10,000 people, an old blind man, and you do something no Doge has ever done. You take the Crusaders' cross yourself. You at 95 will sail with them. The crowd roars. And quietly, underneath the ceremony, you attach one condition to the debt. The fleet sails where you say it sails. Level 6. The forbidden target. The fleet's first stop is not the Holy Land. It is Zara, a Christian city on the Dalmatian coast that rebelled against Venice. The Crusaders are horrified. They came to fight for God, and the blind old man is pointing them at fellow Christians. The Pope sends a letter forbidding the attack under pain of excommunication. The attack happens anyway. November 1202. Zara falls in 2 weeks. And the Pope does exactly what he promised. He excommunicates the Venetians. You are now, officially, cut off from God, cast out of the church whose banner flies from your masts. You hide the letter of excommunication from the army. Most of the Crusaders never learn they are damned. You are 95 years old, blind, excommunicated, and in complete control of the largest fleet in the Christian world. And somewhere in your memory, a warehouse in Constantinople is still being emptied, coin by coin. Level 7. The Prince's Offer. A young man reaches the fleet. His name is Alexios, son of a deposed Byzantine emperor whose eyes were burned out by his own brother in the same palace where you began to go blind. The symmetry is almost too perfect. The prince makes an offer. Put my father back on the throne of Constantinople, and I will pay you 200,000 silver marks, feed and fund the entire crusade, and place the whole Greek church under Rome. The Crusader lords argue for days. Some walk away in disgust. You do the arithmetic in the dark. The debt erased, the crusade funded, and the city that took everything from your family and your eyes, opened to your ships. In your world, revenge is supposed to burn hot and fast. Yours has been cooling for 30 years, hardening into something with edges. You say yes. In June 1203, the fleet turns toward Constantinople. Level 8. The Leap. Understand what Constantinople is. 500,000 people, walls that have never been broken in 900 years, triple land walls, sea walls, and a harbor sealed by an iron chain. Your fleet smashes the chain and pours into the Golden Horn. July 17th, 1203. The Venetian ships press against the sea walls, and the sailors hesitate. Arrows and stones rain from the towers. The line wavers. Then the men on the flagship see something impossible. You, a blind man of 95, standing on the prow in full armor, the golden banner of St. Mark in your hands, screaming at the crew to run the ship aground or answer for it with their lives. The galley grinds onto the shore beneath the wall. You are put ashore first. First, onto a fighting beach you cannot see. The army watches the banner of San Marco advance, and something in 10,000 chests catches fire. Within hours, 25 towers fall. The usurper emperor flees the city in the night. You cannot see any of it. You hear it. The bells, the screaming, the fire. Victory, arriving through your ears. Level 9. The Empire. The restored emperors cannot pay. The city hates them, hates the Latins, hates the fleet in the harbor. Within months there is a coup, the young prince is strangled, and every promise made to you dies with him. So in April 1204, the fleet attacks again. This time there is no one to restore. On April 12th, Constantinople falls, and for 3 days the Crusaders sack the greatest city in Christendom. Palaces stripped, churches emptied, 1,000 years of treasure carried to the ships. Among the loot, 4 bronze horses, ancient, gleaming, older than the empire itself. They will stand on the front of San Marco in Venice for the next 8 centuries. When the empire is carved up, you refuse the imperial crown. They offer it. You turn it down and let a Flemish count wear the target on his back. Instead, you take a title no one had ever held, Lord of 1/4 of the Roman Empire. 3/8 of everything. The harbors, the islands, the trade routes, the keys to the Eastern Sea. Venice's golden age, 5 centuries of it, begins here. It is by any measure your empire, and you have never seen 1 inch of it. Level 10. The Price. You are 98. There is no voyage home. In April 1205, the new Latin emperor is captured in battle by the Bulgarians at Adrianople, and it is you, the blind man, who takes command of the shattered army in the night and leads it back to safety through enemy country. It is your last act. In June 1205, your body finally stops. They do not carry you back to Venice. They bury you inside Hagia Sophia itself, the greatest church on earth, in the heart of the city you conquered blind. You are the only person ever buried there. 2.5 centuries later, in 1453, the Ottomans take the city, and your tomb is broken open, your bones scattered, lost. Today there is only a stone slab with your name, and tourists step over it without knowing. Here is the part they never tell you. Everyone around you had eyes. The emperors, the popes, the princes, all of them could see, and all of them were blind. To the trap, to the debt, to the moment, to the future. You saw the whole board for 30 years, in perfect darkness. You never saw your wife's face grow old, never saw your city's golden age, never saw the horses on the basilica, or the empire with your name on it. And maybe that was the price of seeing everything else. So the next time you catch yourself waiting, for better timing, for younger years, for perfect conditions, remember the man who started at 85, blind, and finished at 98 with an empire. The clock is not your enemy. Sitting still is. You paid attention, now pay the price, and go.